All right, good morning. How is everybody?
Terrific.
Good, good, good. All right, we are going to do what we talked about a couple of weeks ago after the session ended, I think. We're going to go into great detail on InTouch and how to leverage InTouch, how to make sure you're using it the way you should be using it, because we've talked a lot about, last week we talked about all the hard and the easy things to do, right, in real estate. And what were the hardest things to do in real estate?
Calling.
Prospecting, right? And so we want to make that as easy as possible. The best way to make that easy is to have you not have to think about it. Because if you have to put in effort to get to the phone call, you use up all your effort before you get to the effort where you get to pick up the phone, right? Okay, so let's try to work through that. All right, so we're going to go to Chrome. I'm going to close down all my windows that are going to pop open, hopefully, maybe. Assuming it opens. Computer just did an update, so maybe it's just still thinking about it.
It's a good thing we're live.
I always love live things, don't you? I mean, you know, it just makes it better. All right, so we're going to go to NRT Gateway. We're going to log in. Just remember my name. Yay, I just typed it all out. Mine will never remember my password for some reason. If you have your home computer, more likely it'll remember your password. Some people's do, some people's don't. All right, so we're going to go where?
To the dashboard. To
There you go.
To messages.
Let's go to dashboard. We'll start with that. All right, so I'm going to try and make this bigger so that it's somewhat legible on the screen. Hopefully that will make it viable. Can you guys see that here in the room? You can kind of see that on the screen. All right, good. All right, so I'm actually going to sit down because it'll make it easier for us to get through this. Let's talk about InTouch. InTouch, this is our dashboard, right? And we know that our contacts, if we have a new contact show up, this is where they're going to show up here in this front section. We have unread messages, people that have written me messages there, and upcoming reminders, which I don't have any because I don't have anything set up to remind me to do anything at the moment. But what's the first thing we need to do when we go to InTouch?
Well, if you're an agent, you want to make sure you've updated your e-leads, I guess.
Okay. But more importantly, the first time you ever log into InTouch, the first thing you need to do is go through basic setup and make sure that everything is set up the way it needs to be set up. So we're going to go through that relatively quickly and point out every section and what we are. All right, can you see is my head like being cut off like right here, or do I look totally, oh, sweet. I just want to make sure I don't look like here.
You're fine.
All right, so we're going to go under admin and we're going to go to my account. And we're going to go through and scroll through and make sure that we edit everything on these tabs to make sure that we've set up everything we can set up. Now, I have upgraded to Pro, and I highly recommend that you do. You can wait to upgrade to Pro until after you've played around with it for a few days and feel a little comfortable if you want. But there are so many more things that it can do for you with Pro than it can without it, okay? And we'll point those out as we go through. My disclaimer is that $175 doesn't go to me, it doesn't go to Coldwell Banker, it doesn't even go to NRT or Realogy, it goes to Market Leader, the people that power this. Okay, so we worked out a deal, we got what we got, and if you want the little extra, it's $175 for the year. And it's a year from when you sign up, not a year from like a calendar year. So it's not prorated because it's actually, which their issue, I personally would prorate it, be easier to bill everybody at the same time, but that's their issue. So you pick when it works for you and do that. All right, up here, these top ones should be pretty straightforward, pretty easy, right? Your name, Right? Remember the SATs? You get so many points for writing your name correctly. Anyway, title. I highly recommend that. I think in most of them it says salesperson. I highly recommend that you put in either realtor or some other, sales consultant, or be creative with your title. Use a title that's functional. Designations. If you have any designations, I didn't bother to put any. You can put them there, and they'll pop up. You can put your license number in here, and it'll pop up on stuff, which is not a bad thing. If you were on a team, you would add yourself to a team there. Because I am pro, I had to come up with my own web domain. I chose Dunwoody Brett because that's how I'm known on all my social media stuff, so I thought I'd be contiguous with that. And of course, it builds you an email that goes into that as well, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. Make sure your phone numbers are correct here, and an external email address, which should be your company email address. Make sure your marketing website is this one. The same one as up here, because that way it'll drive people back to that correct website when people link off. You can do call to action. So call to action, what might a call to action be?
Call now.
Call now. Call today for a free market analysis. Call today and let me help you. Whatever catchy little type call to action you can come up with is a great thing. Now, the interesting thing is people are always asking me, where does this go? Well, it depends. On some marketing material, some of them show up, and on other marketing material, other of them show up. And on websites, they show up, and it just depends on how, but I would put it in here because worst case scenario, it shows up somewhere and you have to edit it and change it later. Tagline, same thing. We sell Dunwoody is, of course, our office tagline. I threw that in there. These disclaimers are going to come in, and you don't really touch those. The edit I would do on the address, and here's how we edit. We scroll down until we find the blue edit button. We click on the blue edit button, and now we can edit all of these things, and you can see I can type into any one of these things. So I'm going to change this because the 1300 building is not correct. It just needs to be Suite 100. Because that's, according to the post office, that's sufficient for our address. And it looks better on all the mailing materials than the other part that isn't quite right. Additional information. This additional information here, you can see it says this text will appear in the footer of your website. So if you wanted to say something that was on every page in your website and have a footer, you could put that in there. I haven't really come up with anything I wanted to put there. This experience section and awards section is your profile, basically, that about you page or whatever. And so I copied and pasted mine because mine's the same on all of my sites, and just put that in there. So I'm going to hit save to keep that address change that I had noticed I hadn't done. And then we're going to go down to the next section. The next section is add social media. Now, why would you want to add social media links?
Who's your URL?
Because it gives you more, right, going to give you more SEO on your website.
Thank you. Yes.
But other issues are, how many of you in the weekly reminders that you get from me, have you noticed at the bottom it has all the links to my social media?
Yes.
Okay, that's from this system because it automatically does that if I tell it to. I don't have to go in and type it every single time. So I put in my Facebook page and my Google Plus page and my LinkedIn and my Twitter and my YouTube pages. And you can add, if you click the add button, all you do is you pick what kind is it, and there's a whole ton of them from Active Brain to Yelp and everything in between. And you can put all those things on there, including Pinterest accounts and Flickrs and MySpace. If anybody has a MySpace page, please get rid of it. And then you just type the URL. Now, you might ask yourself, because this is, I'm trying to be complete in my training here, how in the world do I figure out what my URL is for any of my social media pages, right? How do you think you do that?
Go to the social media page.
Go to the page. So what I would do is go to, say, LinkedIn, LinkedIn.com, and I'm going to log in. And so then I'm going to go to my profile page. Whoops. So this is my profile page right here. You'll notice right here at the bottom underneath, because it's me, logged in as me, it shows me my LinkedIn right there. That's my website page. And so I can just right click on that and copy the link address and then go back into the other page and copy paste it into that one. We don't really want to use this thing up here because it's just ugly and hard to figure out and doesn't always go to the right spot. So in LinkedIn in particular, you want to use this. On Facebook and most of the other sites, the page, the address up here in the address bar will actually be the address that you want to use because it'll show you exactly what you're looking for. Okay? Questions about that here in the room? Okay. All right, here's another one that's important. Agent MLS ID. Here's the key. If you don't put your MLS ID in here, none of your listings will show up on your website or in any of the marketing portals, so you won't be able to utilize the system to advertise your listings. If you do, then they will. It's pretty straightforward. You just say, on this particular one, because there's already one in there, you would just say add MLS, and you can pull the first MLS is the only one it can pull from right now. Although I would love if you can do Georgia MLS too, but at the moment it's first MLS, and you just put your FMLS username in. That's it.
Last name, first initial.
Well, not everybody, but most people. And so you just put that in, and that means your listings are going to show up. All right, moving down. Images, headshots, very important. Now it will have a logo in here, and so you can kind of leave that alone. It's fine. And then you got to put your headshots in here. Why is the headshot in there twice? Remember, this system does online stuff, and it also does offline stuff because it generates print caliber material. And so you want a high resolution picture and a low resolution picture, because you don't want a high resolution picture in your web portal because it takes too long to load. But you don't want a low resolution picture in your print material because it looks like crap, right? So we're going to put our low resolution picture over here in the website image, and when we say edit, you'll notice it gives you the information about it. Can't be more than 8 megs large. It shouldn't be anywhere close to that. It should probably be measured in kilobytes, not in megs, if you want it to load relatively quickly. And the photo is going to be resized to 100 wide by 130 pixels tall. If you need help with that, please let us know. We're happy to help you figure that out, and that's the way you need to do. I'll cancel that. And then in this one, when we hit edit, you'll notice there is no maximum size. They don't care. It could be a 100 meg file. Do that, but it could be. And they want it to be at least a pixel width of 2800. So you can do it that way. All right, any questions on the first page? All right, good. So we go to the next tab, the next drop down here. That was settings. We do general info. General info is pretty straightforward. It's your contact information for the office. I do recommend that you go in here and edit this. Make sure that your phone numbers are correct for the office. Remember, GREC requires that you have the office phone number, because if one of your clients has a problem with you, they need to be able to get to me. If they can't, that's going to cause issues and make it worse. If they can get to me, I can try to make it a little better usually.
Will you fix your address?
I can fix my address again, yes. I forgot to fix my address here too. So fix your address, make it just Suite 100, Dunwoody, Georgia 30338. I use the style of periods between the phone numbers. You can use dashes. I would be consistent. Whatever it is you choose to do it everywhere, and that was true on the first page as well. We are a franchise NRT. You can put down notes and stuff in here. I don't know where that would go. More importantly, make sure you pick the time zone, because I think it defaults to the West Coast, and so you want to make sure that you put the right time zone in. Okay? Save that since I made a change there. Look at that. See, it's good to come back in and look too, right?
Fresh eyes.
'Cause you might have missed something. All right, activity alerts is the next one. That one's pretty straightforward, right? Most of them are pretty short. Activity alerts. All right, so here's the deal with activity alerts. Activity alerts are designed so that if somebody goes on your website and fills out a form and signs in, registers on your website, you want to know about it, right? Right. So it should be already set up to email your Coldwell Banker Atlanta email. And so that's a good thing. And that means anytime, so for instance, when I send out the reminders, I send it out of this system. And I'm going to show you in a minute how that kind of works. But when you respond to it, if you respond to it, it comes back into this system. And it's now tied to your contact in my system, which is the whole point, so that I can track communication with you as my client, okay? When that email comes back to this system, you might say, well, I don't have to check email in this system. Well, you should never have to check email in this system, because if you have the notification set, if you get an email in this system, it's going to email you and tell you you got an email, okay? Sounds a little redundant, but, you know, in theory, the only emails you should be getting in this system are prospecting, business generation related emails. A couple of people have already been picked up by spammers and that sort of thing, so they're starting to get a bunch of junk mail. I've had mine since basically the first of the year, so we're pushing 4 months at least at this point, and I've never gotten a junk message in it. So I don't know how that happens sometimes. It just depends on where you go and what you put it on. I would not use this email address for anything other than your prospecting. And we'll talk more about that later. So then the other thing you can add, and I highly recommend it, because when you get somebody that registers on your website, you want to know about it immediately, right? So all you have to do is put in your phone number. You can pick your carrier, put in your phone number. You don't have to put in another email address, and then add that in, and it will then text you as soon as you get a notification of anything, okay? I don't do that online because I don't collect people online like you guys do. And then daily summary of contacts that visited your website the previous day. If you mark that subscribed, then if you, I mean, my website didn't get any visits because I don't really promote it or do anything with it at this moment. But yours should if you're using it in marketing, and that's going to be part of our segment and what we're going to do with this, and kind of go forward from there. All right, any questions on this activity alert? It's pretty straightforward. If you want it to tell you when it's got something, you need to give the information to do that, okay? Mls Administration. Leave this alone. Yours probably does not say this. Since I'm the broker, I added the office, which means I get access to all of the listings in the office. Don't add the office, just leave your listing thing on the front. So this will be blank. Orders, this is where if you had any orders, you made any orders for postcards and that sort of thing, this is where you're going to see the invoices. You can see here where I paid, oh, it's not until 3. I feel like I paid it earlier than that. But anyway, great. That's when I upgraded Pro, I guess. So it's been over a month. But you can see where I paid my $175, and then prior to that were my free ones. It's interesting that this one says Dunwoody Brett on February 1st. Even though, yeah, anyway. Billing and shipping. If you are going to buy postcards, you need to have a account and a shipping address in here so that you can buy postcards. Now, I'm going to say this because I always get asked this question. But as an office, you guys print postcards. Yes, yes, we do. But there are certain situations where you would not want to print postcards here because it's more effective for you to do it through the system. For instance, an expired campaign where you have people on a campaign that you're, you know, sending postcards, a couple today, a couple next week, a couple days later. you don't really want to print them here and have to deal with all of that. The time that you spend doing that is not worth it. Pay them. It's not that expensive. It's what most offices do. It's what most agents do. And it's really cost effective, and it just automatically happens. You don't have to worry about coordinating it or doing anything with it. And you can customize them, and we'll get to all of that at some point. So don't worry too much about that. All right, on to the next tab, the email. All right, so email signature. I think it's important to have an email signature. You can just copy and paste this email signature out of whatever other email program you're using if you want to use the exact same one. It's fine. Know, though, that everything you send out of this system is geared towards prospecting, right? So maybe you want to be a little bit more call to action, a little bit more salesy in your signature at the end. Just a thought, your process. Email quick text. This is a huge piece that when you start getting into it, this is going to be massive. You get a call, a lead from Lead Router, and it's, hey, I've such and such a property, and it needs, I'm curious about more information about 123 Main Street. Okay? What do? What's the first thing you do?
Right now I'm calling.
Okay. So you're calling them back, right? What if you don't get them?
Leave them a message, and then
You type them an email, right? So I'm guessing that email is probably pretty much going to be the same every time.
Yeah.
So you can see we have quick response ones already in here, but you can create a new one. You just click create. You just click create. Give it a title so you know what it is. That's not the message. That's just the thing. And then type that text down here. What's going to happen when we later go into email and go to start using it, all it's going to do is drop that text in the email, and then you can edit it and do whatever you want with it. So if you have the bones of property at blank is not available right now, you can do the not available, you can do the please call me, you can do the I've got more information on it, whatever variations you want to work with in there. And you can save those. And as far as I know, there's really not a limit on how many of those you can have. So you can create ones for all kinds of different situations and scenarios. Welcome email. This is an important one. When somebody registers on your website, they are going to get a welcome email. Now, this is the welcome email that was written by the system, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've modified. And so it's got all kinds of stuff that's good in it. You can leave it just the way it is. You want to see what the email is going to look like, you can preview it. And you can see this is what it's going to look like. Fancy, right? So the other one is, this one gets sent automatically when somebody registers on your website, assuming you have it set to do that. And this one is if you manually enter somebody, you can then send to this one. Okay? You want to check these, make sure they say what you want them to say, or else when somebody registers, it's going to say something weird, and then you're going to lose them potentially as a client. Okay? Initial contact wizard. So this is the initial contact wizard. This is the default email for the initial contact. You customize the message each time you manually send an initial contact wizard email. It says, hi, blank, first name, default greetings, edibles. When sent manually, do not add greeting body text below. So did you get that? Don't add the greeting down below. Don't say hi, Brett, or whatever.
Yes.
And you don't add signatures because your signatures and everything get automatically added. You're just talking about the body of the email. And so this one says, I wanted to touch base and see how your home search is going. If you come across anything interesting, our home alerts feature will let you know about homes for sale the same time I hear about them. Please let me know if you need help signing up for targeted home alerts. My phone number and email below if you need to get in touch. Have fun searching. Pretty generic, pretty, Listing alert campaign. This is the listing alert campaign. If you put somebody on the listing alert campaign, the goal is that you're trying to get them to register on your site so that they will get alerted when listings come on the market. It sends one 2 weeks out, says, have you signed up to get daily email alerts of homes for sale? You can make changes and save them. The 1 month one says, I just want to check and see if you come across any homes you'd like to know more about. And the 3 month one says, want to check one last time, see if you're in. So you can modify those to say whatever you want to say. They're sent 2 weeks, 1 month, and 3 months. Seller's market report. This is a pro feature. Okay? Pro feature. This is, I put together home market evaluation for you. Below the seat, you will see price range that I've estimated for your home. And you can actually put together, this is the email that goes with that seller's market report that you generate for your client in this system, or your prospect in this system, okay? And then email client setup. If you wanted to pull your email out of this system, you can. I don't know why you would want to do that unless you were just downloading everything to back it up somewhere or archive it, because you don't want to manage it outside of this system, because you want it to be in the system so that it's tied to the setup, okay? Any questions on email? Questions on email? All right, let's keep going. Website. Here's a good one. Website. Now, I am pro, so my website's going to be a little bit different than the options that you get to see, okay? Here, we get to review and edit page titles and description. This sounds like a really not useful step, right? I mean, it probably defaults to a bunch of good stuff.
It should be personal.
It needs to be personalized, okay? This is where SEO comes into play. Because if you, for instance, we're going to go to my home page. My home page says, Brett Duffy, Dunwoody, GA, Homes and Real Estate, Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage is the title. So when I pull up, I'll show you. When I pull up Dunwoody Brett, you will see up here in the title, very top part up there, it says Brett Duffy, Dunwoody, GA, Homes and Real Estate, Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage. Okay? That works for me, but you got to figure out what works for you. Okay? You can put most anything you want in there. Title is huge in SEO. The consistency between what you see in the title and what you see on the page is also important to your SEO functionality. And then you'll see that's my website, and we'll go to that. All right, let's go back. All right, so you can then put a description. The description is also what helps in your SEO. You should repeat keywords. You'll notice I spelled out Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage because that helps with SEO. Okay? And you can go through all of the pages that you have. You have an About Us, a Find a Home, the home page, a local page, the My Tools page, a registration page, and Sell a Home page. Now you should, and I have not, yeah, I did. So you want to make sure that each page has the same things as your home page, and then additional information like register for access to Atlanta home listing, because you want it to build on itself, not be just one thing. All right? Main text. This is the text that appears on your home page. It appears down here at the bottom of the home page with featured listings listed. It's below those. So this is it right here. This is the default. I haven't changed mine. I haven't done a lot of work on my website to do much with it. The nice thing about your website is it pretty much does its own little thing once you tell it to go and works for itself. You know. Now the key is you got to get it out there to people. So you can change this and say what you want to say and put it right there on the home page. Okay? So you might say some stuff. Now, you don't want to put your profile in here, okay? Because your profile is on your About Us page, not your home page. Okay? You might put mission statement, or you might put something along those lines that might draw people in. But, you know, use it differently. The cell text. Where do you think the cell text appears?
Selling a home.
If you click on selling a home, right, you notice the tabs on your website, right? You can buy, sell, the market insider, and about. And then you can have another one if you want to add one. So again, look at this. Customize this to say what you want it to say about what makes you you and what you do. Be consistent in your message. If you have a customized marketing plan that you deliver when you do a listing presentation, you should at least give some element of peek at that in this system right here. Because when prospective sellers go to your website, they're going to click on sell, they're going to want to see, what do you do? What's the consistency of what you do? Okay? Site images. This is where you can change the pictures of different things. So you can update the site banner, you can update the agency logo. There's really no need to update the agency logo. But the site banner, so you may have noticed, my site banner has these obnoxious little things that I dropped on it, the We Sell Dunwoody and the my picture and other information thrown on there, right? That's because I downloaded one of these banners and then used Paint to put text over it. Because one of the conversations we had was, in this image right here, if this stuff was not here, you don't see my name. So some people have issue with that. I was proving a point that it was very easy to fix that issue. This literally took me 3 minutes, and it's not the prettiest, but it took me 3 minutes. I mean, it's not a big deal. But all of your information is right there also. So, I'm not sure that it's really, truly necessary. But,
Different photos.
What it is. It is different photos because I didn't have this one on me at the time. I could only find that one. But with Pro, you get a whole lot more of these different views and things that you can do. Just depends on what you want to use as a background. You can use any of these that are already, if you're into modern homes, you can use any of these that are in the system. You'll also notice that you can upload a picture right here. Now, the key is it needs to be 1920 by 768. So when you're doing it in Paint or whatever, you got to make sure it's the right size. Okay? All right, I'm not changing mine. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Site widget. This is a Pro feature. What do you think this is?
This is something that you can put onto other social media so that in your other marketing efforts, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on LinkedIn, or whatever it may be, you pop that down and you're able to do your searches that way.
Correct. And you'll notice that this is an interactive, useful little box that I'm probably gonna, yeah, so there we go. So I pulled out 500 homes in Sandy Springs, I think is what I searched. And
It misses 27 though.
it's because what I put in, yeah. But I'll show you how to do that. And so you'll notice that it's got, this one in particular has 5 different searches set up. And the reason that it has those 5 searches set up is because those are areas that I defined for InTouch to use. Okay, those are saved searches in my system. You can use the small, the leaderboard, whatever. The cool thing is all you gotta do is copy this script right here and paste it wherever you want it to go. You can use this for advertising. You can use this for blogs if you do other blogs and things. If you have friends that run other websites for other kinds of things, and you can get them to let you put this on there, that's great. All it's going to do is search for homes and drive people to that. Okay? Community served. Here's my community served. You'll notice this is where I define my communities. So I have my 5 communities and my zip codes associated with them. You're correct. I should have put 30327 in Sandy Springs. I don't know why I didn't. So it's pretty easy, right? All we do is click the edit one, and we're going to put 30327 and add the zip code. Now, you can also put text here that you can put in. You can see the center of the community, which I have not done for Sandy Springs, and go from there.
There is no center.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
a lot of cities. And so I'll show you where that, well, I'll show you where that shows up. So the Market Insider, a little bit, kind of goes from there. This is very different. So let me show you the buy part. So the buy part, you'll notice here's a search where I can do whatever. This happens to be the last search that I did, so it saved those. Normally it would come up blank. But if I look down, searches we offer, these are the communities, okay? Now, one of the big things about using the communities is that is a great way to target market people and drive people to a very specific website, right? Because if I drive people to a website that searches for Brookhaven, you'll notice my community, this link up here now says, and you might not be able to read it, I'm sure you can't read it on the camera, it says wbrett.com/community/area/Brookhaven. Okay, I can take that link and put that link somewhere and say, you know, are you looking for a home in Brookhaven? Click here to find homes. And it's going to drive people directly to this page right here, not land them on the home page where they have to then click and do this and that and whatever. It's going to drive them directly to this. It's going to talk about the trends for Brookhaven. It's going to talk about, it's going to give you the option to log in and sign in. And it's got, over here, it's got some quick searches, new listings, short sales, single families, condos and townhomes. All you gotta do is click on this. If I'm looking for a condo and townhome in Brookhaven, look at that. There's 87 properties that are condos or townhomes inside of what I defined as Brookhaven by the zip codes. Now, unfortunately, here in Georgia, our zip codes are not necessarily community specific, and so there's some overlap in things. But at the end of the day, you know, it gets people close, it gets people going. You can be specific to say what you want it to do after that. I believe if you do your little community header thing, it's going to show up on this page here, and you can talk about Brookhaven and more information about it and that sort of thing. And in there, you could say, this is a zip code specific, but if you'd like to only focus on the city of Brookhaven and only be within the city limits, let me know and I can set up a custom search for you. Okay? All right, so that's our communities. You can put a ton of them in there. I mean, put the ones you serve. Why not? Now, the interesting thing on the non-pro version of this, when you put in the community served, it's different because it doesn't have any information. So what it's going to do is it's going to see how this came up with this stuff and this stuff, and you get more information about it. And then if you go to Market Insider, so for instance, this gives us our community info page, and there's all these different information about it, the education, crime, shopping. It also provides the local school information, so we can see what the school. Nice. You can see what the schools are there, and you can kind of go from there. That only comes. The Market Insider only comes with Pro. In the basic version, when you log into the website, do anybody have any communities set up on their website? Do you know? I'm trying to think of somebody that does. I don't know anybody off the top of my head.
I don't know.
So anyway, it's just going to be a page that you can fill out information on. And so you could say Brookhaven, and you could say this, and this about it. You could talk about the schools, you could talk about, but it's not going to have all this data on it. This alone is worth $175 a year, because you can send people to this page, and they can go, oh, cool, I can figure out what area, what, you know, all that kind of stuff. So like, say somebody's relocating to the area. Hey, I'm coming to 30338. Let me see what I can get as information about 30338. So, I mean, Atlanta City Schools keep coming up at the top, which is painful.
Yeah.
certain limits to the.
Certain limits to its ability to do that. But community info you can get. So anyway, you can go through and do all of that and look through and see everything that you want to see. Okay? Oops. All right, next one, featured partners. Your featured partners, if you're in basic, it's going to have people in here. At the moment, there's a glitch because when you upgrade to Pro, you can't add anybody. And the people that were there disappear. So in theory, we would love for this to actually be, you know, Wiseman and Coldmaker Home Loans and AHS, Coldmaker Home Warranty,
Regency title.
you know, all that stuff, right? Because that would help us drive people to it. But there seems to be a glitch. Nah, I'm not sure why that doesn't work. But anyway, so if you upgrade to Pro, that tab goes away because normally there's another tab here that says partners or something like that. And obviously I don't have that tab because there's no information on there to share.
So it's $175 work in progress.
Well, yeah, I mean, always, right? It's software. So,
If it doesn't have a bug, it isn't
it's
software.
always going to have a glitch, period. Okay, listing addresses. This is an interesting thing. This gives you the option to show or hide addresses on listings to your contacts. I don't know why you would want to hide your addresses.
So they have to call you.
Right. There is the whole theory of people want to not give up too much information. Here's the reality. Anything that's on your website with no address is on some other website with an address. So show the address. There's no reason not to, from my standpoint. Listing search areas. So this is the other one. You can actually say people can only search certain areas on your website. Now, why would you want to do that?
Because you want to keep your field very small and defined.
Sure.
And this is where I specialize and nowhere else.
My business plan is that I only sell in this area. So why would I want somebody to search outside of it? Now, you can get outgoing referrals with it, but such as such, you know, you can prove that you only do the area if you want. Listing search fields, similar line. You can limit what people search for. For instance, I have unchecked mobile manufactured. I don't know why, it just was unchecked, I think. I don't think I purposely unchecked it. But you can check. If you don't do commercial, you probably don't want people to search commercial, right? Same thing under here, listing types. You know, if you're not interested in dealing with foreclosures and bank-owned short sales and all that kind of stuff, uncheck it. It's fine. I personally am fine with the let's check everything. You'll notice down here I have all of the features and all the optional search features checked because why not? I want to give them more options to check, to search
You never know
than
when
not,
someone might
right?
want a barn.
Exactly. So we want to give them that opportunity. Now, this is where we get to some pro things, the consumer site theme. So you can go through and you can pick one of these different themes. I happen to be in the landscape dark with blue accents. I can change it to the Coldwell Banker one, which looks more like the Coldwell Banker Atlanta page or Coldwell Banker page. And we go back to the home page here, and you'll notice now it looks like that, right? Still has my information, still has the stuff, still has the community serve, still has the see more listings, still has a featured listing, not a bunch. Not a picture I really like personally, but that's, you know, I'm sure we can modify that somewhere. And so, you know, it still has my tabs. It says meet instead of about. You know, and so it is what it is. You know, so you can go through and pick any of these different designs that you like. There's different ones with the skyline at the top. I happen to be a fan of the more classic one with the big picture, and so we'll go back to that, and you'll notice when I click back here and refresh this page, it goes back to that. Okay? As a pro user, you can change the theme and make it look different if you so choose. Recommendations. So as a pro user, you can get recommendations from people on your website and show them on your website. Okay, it's a good thing. And then, of course, there's the custom page. Now, what might you use the custom page for? Personally, I think this single feature is worth $175 a year. What might I use it for?
Whatever it is that sets you apart on some level.
What if you have a niche? What if your focus is, I'm really focused on working with aliens from Mars on the 5th level of Tribeca 12, whatever. I'm making something up as random as possible because I don't want to hit anybody's particular use thing, right? Was that as random as possible, right? If you're asleep, hopefully you just woke up. So you can actually put in here, you could type aliens from Mars, and here we'll do it, aliens from Mars, and I would say, whoops, we'll put the Mars, and we'll say the 5th level from Tribeca. Okay? And you can type whatever you want to type here. You can also put in links, you can put in pictures, so you can, we can put in a picture. I don't know what a picture is. Let's see if we can find a picture real quick. We can go to any kind of image. Let's look for Mars. We're going to click on a Mars image, and we're going to copy the link address, copy the image URL. Okay, key image URL is what we're looking for. All right, we're going to go back, and we're going to paste that, and we're going to go OK. And now we have this massive Mars thing on there, and we're going to hit save. Now, I just saved that, so if any random person happens to be out there right now,
That's what they'll say.
and they go to my website, what are they going to see?
Tribeca's misspelled. It should be capital T, capital B, capital C.
Not on Mars. So now you'll notice, right? It's not there because I haven't refreshed. Well, let's refresh. Oh, come on in. Come up here. Nope. Might take it a minute to get through.
Now you're stuck with it.
It's probably going to take it a minute to come through because it's a whole new page insert. All right, we'll come back and check for it.
Be careful what you wish for.
Remind me to check for it later.
Rob and I will certainly remind you.
Because
Of what?
I do want to go in and take that off.
We're supposed to remind him of something.
What was that? All right. So let's go through. The last one on website is just visitor registration. This one is very important. You'll notice a minute ago when I was trying to goof around on the Market Insider, at some point it kicked me back to a search and asked me to register, right? Mm-hmm. The reason for that is because it had decided I had reached the limit of the number of things that I had played around with, because I have set my limit to 9, which means I've probably been on this computer to my website and looked at least 9 properties, or else it shouldn't have done that. Now, it defaults to 99. No, I mean, it defaults to 1. Sorry. Market Leader's premise is that you want somebody to see one property detail, and then if they want to see another property detail, they should register so you can capture their information. I'm a Gen Xer. I think that's crap. But I'm a Gen Xer, so I don't put up with that kind of stuff. Probably a huge majority. I mean, they're the experts at this. This is what they do for a living. This is their software. They know that works. And so it might drive some people off, but it's going to capture a lot more people. So you can put 99, but I highly recommend you put something much lower than that. 3 is good. 4, 5. I put 9 just because that's where I was that day when I decided to put 9. I mean, you put whatever you want to put. The purpose of this website is what?
Building your business.
Capture business, right? So if you put 99 and people come to your website, use it, and then go buy with other people, is that capturing you any business? No. Are there other websites they can go to where they can get the same information? Yeah. So, get them to register so they can see the proper information on your website. All right? All right, that does websites. All right, site activity. This is a pro feature. you can see I have had not a whole lot of activity because of different things. Bless you.
Thank you.
So you can see I've had offline marketing, 13 users, who knows where they came from. Market leader, search engine optimization, I had 5 visitors, 1 to each of those pages there. Okay? You can do search links and see what they were there. You can do analytics to see what your use was. These are all coming from NRT, personal marketing. So those are personal marketing. Let's click the last 3 months and you can see a little closer. Personal marketing, NRT. You can see Trulia, advertising, all that kind of stuff. Because when you send stuff out from here, it can create a custom URL that tracks it so it knows where it came from. Okay, so when you do advertising through this, it can do that. You can do website analytics, which goes even further. These are all pro features. It talks about 1 active visitor. That's me. I'm on it right now, and it knows I'm there. It knows what our rolling contacts are, how many we're seeing. It sees where they're coming from. Talks about type. Everything's been typed in. I've not had anything come through through any search engines or social media or anything like that, because again, I haven't done anything with my website other than use it to demonstrate to you guys what to do with it. Now, I have used the system, but I haven't used the website because that's just not been something I've needed. And there's more stuff you can do with this. You can get into the analytics and really get into that. And you can also get into Performance Evaluator. Give it a second to load. And you can see how things are working. So I have 112 contacts. My follow-up rating is horrible because, again, all I do with this is use it to send out the weekly reminders at this point, which is not really what it's intended for. But it does show I've sent out 596 emails this month. Okay? You have a limit of 5,000. That's a lot. Okay? You're sending 5,000 emails out a month, that's a lot. It shows contacts on campaigns. I don't have any. Unsubscribed percentage and contacts on listing alerts. Don't have any on any of those. Marketing emails that have gone out, the volume, how many I've sent per month, kind of a thing. Entered or imported company leads, agent sphere. This is my volume database. 94 cold, it's based on averages and things like that. And then I can look at my leads over here. I can get leads from any of these sites where I can pay to get leads. Don't do that. Sorry. You can pay to get leads. Don't do that because it's, not worth it. Anyway, that takes care of all of our admin tabs and things. Any questions about your setup?
No.
This is the first step. You want to make sure everything is set up. You also want to revisit it on a somewhat regular basis. The way your website is set up, the way, all that kind of stuff. Optimize it. Start to use your tab. I'm going to go see if it showed up yet. Nope, still not there yet. Start to see, what you can utilize to get it to work the way you want it to work. The purpose of this website is to drive people into your capture system. The purpose of this system is to keep you in touch with people on a regular basis. Okay? Next time, and I'll say it on camera this time, next time we're going to go into a more advanced usage of this system. And we're going to go to the next stage, which will be starting to work with, we'll probably review how the emails work, and we'll review contacts, and we'll start into each of these tabs and things so we can start to really delve into how to really use the system. Okay?
Great.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.
get your lunar land.